Hey guys, Adam Lavelle from KnuckleTFUp.com. We're going to talk about more KLAN Fighting Championship. I'm going to talk about this more. Now, I love my bare knuckle fighting championship and my bare knuckle boxing, but look, this stuff from Ukraine, found on YouTube, KLAN, KLAN, FC, and no, don't associate it with that KLAN. This is my way of supporting the Ukraine, you could say, because these Ukrainian bouts, these Ukrainian fights, this Ukrainian company is balls to the wall fun and excitement. I'm not saying every fighter in this league is the equivalent of the fighters in our companies, our American companies, bare knuckle fighting championship and bare knuckle boxing, but I don't care. Their fights are exciting and very, very fun to watch. I promise you, check it out on YouTube and you won't regret it. I came home from work yesterday and there was a show waiting on me. It was season 9, episode 4. Now, let me tell you, I do get the episodes early. Why? Because I pay a couple bucks to subscribe to their channel on YouTube. You don't have to. Don't have to pay a dime to subscribe to them on YouTube. I do so I get a chance to see their shows as soon as they put them up. So I'll get to see them, I don't know how long it is, a couple days, a week, I don't know. But this is season 9, episode 4. If you go there and only see season 9, episodes 1, 2, and 3, then it's because you aren't a paying member. But it will go up. It will. I get to see it early. But kicking off this show. Now, guys, these foreign names can be very difficult for me to pronounce. Any foreign name. When we get a foreigner in one of our American companies, I struggle to pronounce it, even after hearing it sometimes. Something I have to work on. It's a problem that I have. It embarrasses me sometimes. But this is very hard to interpret this. They do show it in the English language, at least. They'll come out with their name in Ukrainian language, and then it'll fizzle away and it'll be in English. So that's nice. Still doesn't make it easy to pronounce. It started off with Alexander, which is like our version of Alexander, right? Alexander Stoinlik. His fists and wrists were, well, just down below the knuckle, were wrapped in black. He took on Faik Durmaz, who was in the red tape. This was only one round, but what an exciting round it was. I'm telling you, Faik Durmaz came out like a house of fire, just throwing shots like crazy. Some of them connected, but for the most part, Steinlich was able to avoid a lot of his shots. Like I said, he landed a few, but Steinlich was just a little quicker, a little faster, and bided his time until he got the big shot on Durmaz, knocking him out in the first round. Excellent stuff here. KLAN FC kicking off with a great fight in fight number 1. The second fight was Vadslav Kaishi taking on Haderov. Haderov. Not making fun of him, just trying to put it in my brain how to say these names. So Kairoshi was in black tape, Haderov was in red tape, and Kairoshi stormed out and knocked Haderov down almost immediately. But when Haderov was down, Kairoshi came up and punched him hard in the head when he was down, on his hunches, on his knees, on his hands and knees. Came up and bam, plowed him a good one. Could have easily been a disqualification. But what they did is they threw the fight out. They stopped it, threw the fight out, called it a no contest. Now, there could be some complaining here. It should have been a DQ. Kairoshi should have been disqualified. They chose not to do that. The official was right there at ringside. She was a woman. The owner of the company is the commentator here, not from the desk. These are two different guys doing the commentating from the desk. But the ring announcer, if you will, is the owner. And so there's some pausing going on here. What's going to happen here? What happens is the officials and the ref and the owner talk to both guys, and they ask them, do you want to go again? Do you want an immediate rematch right now? And look, the big question there was to Kairoshi, because he was the one who got hammered in the head when he was down on his knees. And he said, yes, I'd like my rematch right now. Doctors checked him out a little bit on the spot, approved it, and it was good to go. Second fight between these two. Third fight of the night, technically. The first one was thrown out as a no contest, thanks to Kairoshi doing a little bit of dirty work. They start again immediately after, and my God, if Haderov isn't inspired. Now, he did not go on to win this by knockout or anything like this, but this was turned into a 3-round fight, because that's the maximum they do here, 3 2-minute rounds. And this was an incredible back and forth fight, and Kairoshi fought inspired. Haydarov did. Karashi, who could be labeled the dirty fighter in the first bout, took somewhat of a beating, but man, this guy is tough as hell. He did not go down. He kept coming full force, and this was a terrific fight. But it was Haydarov nailed a spinning back fist. Didn't knock Karashi out, but Karashi missed two of them of his own. He missed two spinning back fists of his own, and Haydarov responded and nailed one and sort of knocked Karashi loopy, but didn't knock him down, didn't knock it out. It came down to the judge's decision, and it was decided that the man who was cheated in the first fight between these two, Haydarov, was your winner by unanimous decision. Guys, I'm not doing this justice. You have to see this. This was a terrific fight. It was a terrific, interesting situation that made you lean in and wonder, what is going on here? It was remarkable. It was great. It was exciting. It is everything I love about bare knuckle fighting. The next fight between two fighters, and I'm going to struggle to pronounce their names, forgive me, but it is Ihor Adarashkev versus Cordero Clayton. Okay? Ihor, let's just call him that, is in black tape here. Cordero is in red tape. And this fight started off going full board with Clayton, he's a Brazilian here, Clayton, using his height and reach advantage. He just sit back and peck off Ihor. The best that he was just doing that wonderful strategy that the taller, lankier fighter should always use against a short fighter. And that's what went on here. As the fight progressed, however, Ihor did a good job at coming back. He was ducking, he was going bobbing, he was weaving, he was doing what needs to be done against a taller fighter, right? But he struggled to overcome the clinch game. I know a lot of us out there, a lot of you out there don't like the clinch game, but you have to understand this is a part of boxing strategy. It's a defensive mechanism that you can use, especially these taller, lankier guys, when the shorter power guys come in and you just clinch down on their arms and turn it into what looks like a hug. You know, you hear a lot of casual boxing fans saying, oh, why do they hug so much? It's a defense mechanism, and it worked beautifully for Clayton here, and it won him the fight by unanimous decision. Very good fight, all 3 rounds. But it was the taller Brazilian using his clinch game once the shorter man started to come in and up on him that won him this excellent, excellent fight. Next up was the last fight of this show. So short video here because there was only a couple fights here. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this was the worst fight I have seen in KLAN FC since I've been watching for like a month or two. Now, you've heard me say this before about other shows. When I say it was the worst fight, that doesn't mean it was a bad fight. Both of these men know how to fight, maybe a little bit too well. What do I mean by that? Look, if guys really, really know how to box, if they really, really know how to fight, a smart fighter will pace himself, measure, and take shots that he has and no other shots. You don't want to waste a bunch of punches that are worthless and meaningless and exhaust yourself out. Well, unfortunately, that's what both of these guys did. I'm talking about Frunze Serhai. His wrists are taped in black here. And believe it or not, this guy is Muhammad Ali Nurazov, something like that. But yeah, his name is Muhammadali, Muhammad Ali Nurazov. But these guys, they really just spent the entire 3 rounds barely punching. They were measuring. They were being smart in a way, but you don't want fights to be like this. Bare knuckle fights are supposed to be aggressive. More aggressive than typical boxing. More aggressive than typical kickboxing. Definitely more aggressive than MMA. And neither one of these guys seemed to have that in them. The second round was a little better, but not much. Even the guys on commentary mentioned that both guys seemed too afraid of each other. Like, he's afraid of him and he's afraid of him, and they're laying back. I don't think it was fear. I think it was purposeful attempt to win the fight by decision. But the third round, they got a little bit better at fighting, but not much at all. There just wasn't much action. Muhammad Ali was very cocky. And again, that's his name, if you missed that. Nurazov Muhammad Ali. Not like Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ali. Just cracks me up in a way, not making fun of him, but it's like, really? His last name is the most famous boxer in the world? Yeah, Nurazov Muhammad Ali. He was very cocky. He's a guy with a little bit more hair. and just puffing out his chest and dancing around a little bit. And the commentator's like, I don't know why he's not done anything that impressive. And it's true. They're not bad fighters. This just wasn't a strong, impressive fight. But in the end, the judges must have saw something Muhammad Ali saw in himself and gave him the win by decision in a very reserved and boring fight. I'm just being honest, though. Overall, very good show. The last fight wasn't the main event. It's just where it fell in the card. Wasn't great. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't an exciting fight at all. And for that reason, I got to knock this down to an 8 out of 10, which is still good. I enjoy these shows. I can't wait for them to pop up on YouTube. I really do like them. They're a little bit different than Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and Bare Knuckle Boxing. They're far more fast-paced and aggressive 9 times out of 10. And we know how fast-paced and aggressive a lot of the fighters over here and our Bare Knuckle companies are. But it just seems like these guys go balls to the wall. Sometimes it always doesn't look like super professional boxers fighting, but it's okay because they're exciting, except for this last fight here, which was boring as hell, just to be honest with you. But these shows are free and on YouTube, and typically 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. That's all you got to spend watching 3 or 4 fights per show. Definitely worth it. If you haven't watched this, check it out. The Ukrainian commentators speak English on the English YouTube. Yes, it's a thick accent, but easily understandable. Great other company to watch if you love bare knuckle and you want something when our 2 American companies aren't running. Okay, whenever they're in in-between week or something like that. Check out KLAN, and I don't think you'll regret it. But anyhow, again, I'm Adam Lavelle, knuckletfup.com. Please subscribe to this YouTube. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'll be back to talk about more fighting, oh God, before you know it.